in our society. And whereas April has been declared National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and whereas Minnesota has initiated many efforts to promote child abuse prevention programs within counties, and whereas Morrison County has promoted such programs and recognizes that children and families are an important part of our society, needing the support and protection of our community. And whereas Morrison County recognizes the dedicated work of community professionals, neighbors, and extended family that provide assistance to prevent and intervene in cases of child abuse and provide support to parents. And whereas special thanks given to the Morrison County Family Connections team and the interagency members for efforts, funding, and provisions of parenting education and support through the Circle of Parents Support Group. Social media parents education on Facebook, as well as the child abuse prevention curriculum provided to schools in Morrison County. And whereas the Morrison County Family Connection team recognizes and supports the efforts of parents, extended family, friends, and neighbors of children to provide a safe and loving environment for children. Now therefore, be it resolved that April is hereby declared Child Abuse Prevention Month in Morrison County.
Gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
I got a motion, I got a second. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Blaine?
I will say it's a pleasure and an honor to have these four ladies here representing the work that is necessary. This is a topic and an issue that can't be tolerated. And I think, as proud as I am of these four ladies before us, I think that every one of us has to take responsibility in eliminating this kind of activity. The children of our community are those individuals who are at greatest risk and have the least ability to fend for themselves. We all have a role to play and a responsibility to play, but in every case of good things being done, there are always those leaders that step forward and lead that charge, and I'm grateful for these four ladies being here with us this morning. Thank you.
Anything else? Commissioner Casper?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I was just going to say thank you to each one of you. You've been used to stem the tide of this foolishness. Thank you for being there for these little ones. God bless you.
Anything else at all? Otherwise, Commissioner Lemire?
I would just like to say I like the collaboration between all of you. It takes a team to fight the fight sometimes, and we appreciate everything you do.
And I agree with everything said so far, but I have a question. Are you the Morrison County Family Connection team, or is there more to that?
These are a few. The team is comprised of folks from our, our medical community, our schools, law enforcement, in addition to Northern Pines and Hands of Hope. So it's a large collaborative, and we have a pretty strong team that is pretty motivated in working to eliminate child abuse.
And I kind of knew that. You four have a lot of spider web tentacles out there for other people helping you. So again, we thank you very much for what you do. So we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Ready for the photo op?
Keep up the good work. Okay, second verse, same as the first.
Or we need to shift?
Whoever's in the center,
You guys got it pretty good, like you've done this before. For everyone to look. Got it.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Have a great day.
your call, I don't. Okay, all right.
All right, moving right along, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week proclamation. Whoever's involved, please come up forward. We can get out of chairs. Gentlemen in the back, I'm assuming you're part of this.
Support team, but yeah, we can certainly bring them up.
All right, I tried to bring them up.
Kind of bashful.
Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board.
Morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
So yeah, it's Public Safety Telecommunicators Week starting next week, so we have some people out at training, one of them being our supervisor, so I wanted to make sure we had representation, so I went into dispatch this morning and we polled one of our dispatchers, so.
You won.
So I got the other dispatcher probably a little upset, but we're gonna get her back as soon as we can. So anyway, I'm Sean Larson, the sheriff.
Rachel Zimmerman.
Rachel's been with us for, I think it's gonna be 18 years in May. So yeah, we dispatch for 11 fire departments, 13 first response teams, and then of course Morrison County Sheriff's Office deputies, Little Falls PD, and then the small towns of Motley, Piers, and Royalton. So they have a tough job, but they do well. So I'll start off if I may.
Please.
So whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas Morrison County dispatchers efficiently coordinate emergency services for both man-made and natural disasters to ensure the health and safety of our community, and whereas public safety dispatchers are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety dispatchers are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and first responders by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas while enduring shift work and frequent emergencies, Morrison County dispatchers continue to perform their duties in a dedicated, diligent, and loyal manner. Now, therefore, the County Commissioners of Morrison County do hereby proclaim, in conjunction with National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, the week of April 14th through the 20th, 2024, Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and commend the devotion, contribution, and services of the professional 911 communication dispatchers who serve Morrison County.
I'll move on that,
I
Mr.
have a
Chair.
motion, I need a second.
Second.
I have a second. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Zelinski.
18 years? 18 years already, Rachel? It
18
just
years
doesn't
ago.
hardly seem that that's possible, but thank you. Sheriff, the staff, what can I say? Thank you all for what you do. Appreciate it a lot.
Gentlemen, anything else? Otherwise, I have, you look at national news, state news, everyone says you're the front line, just like Sheriff said, the dispatchers, because again, without you, how do we get everything under control, as they say? And again, if anybody, I had the privilege to go back in there, not get on any communication equipment. It's a big computer back in there, and for how your staff, sheriff, can handle that, it's amazing, so again, it's just the world we live in, so again, appreciate what you have in bringing this forward. Anything else, gentlemen? If not, those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Photo op.
Come on, guys.
We'll bring you guys all in. Come on.
Tony, show them how to do it. Lead the way.
Tony, show one to do it.
Should we stay
You don't
sitting?
stay in the chair.
18 years ago.
Bring her in then.
Otherwise, they'll drown us.
Get over here, big boy.
I didn't know that was the type. Good to get you guys up here.
Morning. Morning. Nice to see you. Sergeant, how you doing?
Put on your big smile.
Yeah, squeeze in there, gentlemen. Squeeze down, Commissioner.
Hands on the bench.
Let's get, we can squeeze
Well,
everybody
you're
in.
out of,
How are we doing?
so I think the back row.
Come on, you guys.
Fill in.
You've done this before.
There you go. There you go.
Don't hide behind anybody.
Never would do that.
All
Perfect.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the
Take
good
care,
work.
Rachel. Appreciate it.
I was gonna take it home with me.
I know.
I will, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, here's the end of it. It's at the end of this one.
Okay, moving along. Military Child Proclamation. And who do we have representing us? Please come up and state your name.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. We have the Veteran Service Office and our full staff today, and my name is Christina Vonberg, and thank you for a year and a half plus a month or two for this experience. It is going fantastic. I would like the people that I work with to introduce themselves, please.
I'm Luann Jarvis.
And Jim Segler?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lead us off, please.
All righty. The proclamation today. Whereas, since 1986, the Department of Defense has recognized military children during the month of April. Because of their service, commitment, and sacrifice to supporting the military's mission, it is important to honor and celebrate our military's youngest heroes. And whereas the month of the military child is an opportunity to remember children's roles in strengthening the military family. This year's theme is taking care of our military children. And whereas the theme recognizes that strong and resilient military children are essential to the success of the military's mission. And whereas living in different states, countries, and continents, military children face unique challenges that most youth their age do not experience. They are equipped to adapt to present and future changes, such as permanent changes of station, deployments, reintegration, care of their wounded warrior parent, or coping with the loss of a fallen parent. Through these new steps in life, they always remain ready and resilient. And whereas we, the leaders of Morrison County, are thankful for the positivity and enthusiasm of military children, we keep moving forward. We are committed to maintaining excellence in schools, youth services, and childcare to ensure that families always receive the best programming, no matter where their next adventure takes them. Now, therefore, the Morrison County do hereby proclaim April 2024 as Month of the Military Child, and encourage Morrison County to observe the month with appropriate ceremonies and activities that honor, support, and thank our military children. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Morrison County to be affixed on this 9th day of April, 2024.
Gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion.
So moved, Mr.
I
Chair.
have a motion. Need a
Second.
I got a second. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, Commissioner.
The month of the military child, I would like to know, just for the fun of it, how many people in Morrison County that touches. I know that there's several on the board right this second that it touches. I know that there are several in the audience that it touches. It's got to be a pretty big percentage of individuals in the county government in Morrison County that it touches, let alone what it touches in the state of Minnesota throughout the United States. Pretty cool thing to recognize military children because of what you just got done saying, Chris. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I certainly support this forever.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna kind of follow up, again, not do we all honor our veterans, but you know what, this is something to remind the relatives, I feel, the other family members of, you know, there's children out there that their veterans are serving, their parents are, and that they should be, you know, given a lot more care too, because again, I don't understand that, but I'm sure there's plenty of parents or children out there that had military members, and yeah, they need to be, you know, helped out, and because again, I'm sure they move around. You hear all those little stories from veterans' children. You know, so again, I appreciate you bringing this forward. So thank you very much. Otherwise,
Thank you.
Looks like we have a motion and a second. If there's no more discussion, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We'll stand up.
All
on
right.
this one.
Thank you, sir. Keep up the good work.
Call them the silent volunteers.
We'll get one in the center, so whoever hit that little line there.
Not this time, you get to be in front. That's just how it works. No, you don't have to jump.
They'll be able to get you.
Okay.
That's all right. That's right, eat your asparagus.
Can't see Bobby.
Okay.
I'll move over by Greg.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go, better.
Okay, should I?
Well, Greg is, that's fine, we don't need to see this.
Perfect, perfect.
Thank you.
Scoot it to the side.
We're totally fine.
Our little silent volunteers, that's what I call them.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you, Luann.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Cam. You're looking good. Getting around, eh? Yeah.
All right, looks like we have some members from the Ag Society here. Please step forward and state your names for the record.
Morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. Jeremy Hanfler, President of the Morrison County Ag Society. I brought some other board members here. They'll let you know who they are.
I'm Kennard Feldbaum, the treasurer.
Brenda Rudolph, the secretary.
Diane Peterson, the manager.
Good morning.
Morning. We
Please lead us off.
come this morning just to look for $20 to get you guys the ad in the paper, and we figured we'd be out of here. No? Yeah?
Absolutely.
So, figure we give you a little update on what's going on out at the fairgrounds. And Morrison County Fair has been 80 years last year we celebrated, 30 years at the new site, 50 years previous before that in town. So out there, doing a bunch of updates, maintenance. Last year, we had a bunch of roofs replaced, so we had some hail damage out there, so we're just trying to get caught up with that. Some of the roofs are leaking, updated. Kind of give you guys a little breakdown on some of the improvements we did there last year. Another one of the big things is our storm shelter bathrooms out there at the facility. The exterior doors were getting pretty tough, so we ended up replacing that. Another thing we're gonna have to look at eventually down the road is to get a bigger storm shelter type deal out there, because that just ain't for the capacity if something would go on, you know. We don't want to keep people out there, but that's something for another day and on another budget dollar, I would imagine. But events happened here last year. We had quite a few different events, everything from the motocross, goat shows, sheep shows. We had a 3-day state emergency communication exercise that they use the fairgrounds for out there. Lone Eagle, we do a couple of rodeos out there. A lot with 4-H. I'm sure you guys have heard from the administrator there on how much goes on out there with all the different kids involved with 4-H. We, support them and give them a place to do all their exhibitions and everything else out there as well. And then trunk or treat for the community, kind of another thing that goes on in the fall out there with some of the businesses. I don't know, Brenda, which organization heads that up? Do you?
Oh my gosh, I can't, Joni, yeah. We provide the place for them to have the trunk or treat at no cost. We don't charge them for that event at all. And so we provide them a space for that. And so then last year, it rained on Halloween, and so then we didn't have storage in yet, so we were able to utilize the, one of the barns. We were able to utilize that for trunk or treat, and it worked out really well.
And then one of our sources of revenue is winter storage, usually in the fall. So that kind of is a recap on last year. This year, we're looking at doing a few other upgrades. The ventilation fire suppression system in our food building, that's one of the big things this year for us, to get that all up to code and keep the insurance companies happy. Kind of stinks, have to spend $25,000, $30,000 for 2 days at the fair to fry hamburgers and french fries, but that's what they want in order for us to be able to do it. So it's another one of those things that's a fundraiser that 4-H uses, so we supply the building, so it's really no income or revenue. It's just one big expense for us to pass on to help out them in the, in the community. That's their big fundraiser at the fair, is to have the food building. Looking at doing some upgrades in the barns with some fans and electric upgrades. We got a grant from Blue Ox Co-op for the fans, so we're gonna do that and some electrical upgrades to keep everything running out there decent. Looking at doing some R&R on the walkways, the tar paths out there this year is another deal. We did it 2 years ago. We're gonna try to do it in 3 phases. Last year we weren't able to with the new roofs going on with all the equipment and stuff. We don't wanna lay new tar and then have them ripping it all up, so last year got skipped, so we're back on the phase 2 on that this year. We might, depending on where bids come in, try to do the whole works and wrap that up in this year. And then our other big expense this year was our skid loader went down, about 15,000 in repairs on that, so it's another chunk of change when, you know, we're a nonprofit organization out there trying to run, none of the board members, none of the workers, nobody out there, it's all volunteer hours, there's not a paycheck that comes out of the place for anybody that puts any time in out there, so always looking for volunteers, looking for help any way we can round any up. And then events going on this year, a lot of the same. We get a lot of repeat ones. This year, a new one is the Abate Bike Rally. It's going to be a big bike rally coming in September, if I remember right, the middle to end of September. They want to do that for 3 years here in the community, so we'll see how the first year goes. 250, 300 bikers come in and camp out there at the fairgrounds and just do their big convention rally. So that's a new one for us this year. Also, Minnesota Trappers Association's convention. They were previously down in southern Minnesota. They want to localize, more centralize, and to be better serve the whole state. So they're moving up here. They're going to try it for a few years and see how it goes. And then last year, a new one, and he's back again this year, is the Minnesota Prepper Convention, prepping for the end of the world. He's just got all of his stuff going on. So he brings in people from all over the United States, and they have their convention. He was really surprised. It worked well here. He did another one in Wisconsin last year. He did one in Colorado, and now he's back to do another one here. He was surprised and impressed on how well audience and how well it turned out, and he had people that were signing up to come back, so that'll be back out there again this year. And then as well as the Northeast Livestock Show, which is a 2-day show. 17 counties come with 4-H kids down here we have the camping out there, and they spend the night there, and a lot of them in our hotels and restaurants and everything else too, so it's bringing people into the community, and then we'll be back into hopefully winter storage again this year. So, any questions so far? Thoughts, ideas?
Looks good.
Just curious, Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Casper.
just a simple question. What dates are the fair this year?
June 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Very good, thank you.
So the fair has moved up last year as well as this year. It's just, there's limited carnivals and that'll operate in the state of Minnesota due to the regulations that the state of Minnesota puts on carnivals. There's only about 3 of them that will operate in the state of Minnesota. So you have to get one that's here or willing to come here. So you plan your fair around your carnival. So, and foreseeable future, it's probably gonna be in June because it's just, we could do 3 years in June, and then with the way that weeks fall between Memorial Day and Labor Day, sometimes there's an extra one, we could flop it into July, but I think it's just better for the community if we can stay that same weekend in June instead of 3 one year and then back to July and then back into June. So unless we can find another carnival can come in, but we've seen what happened with that when we tried different carnivals, so you ended up with nothing, and then, community in uproar, so.
Commissioner Blaine had it.
Oh.
Go ahead, Commissioner Blaine.
Well, Mr. Chair, first of all, I'm going to say, we all have our assignments outside the county board, and I have the pleasure of having the assignment to sit as an ex officio on the Egg Society board. And a couple of things I want to bring attention to. Number one, I in the 6 years that I've been here on the county board, or 6+ years, I think this may be the first time we've had the Egg Society leadership here before the board. And so, first of all, I want to say thank you to the 4 of you for coming and presenting to us. there's some things I think the county board needs to know. This is in large effect, new leadership within the Ag Society. And I think that's exciting, but I also think that we can't not recognize the fact that there's a lot of continual same faces doing a lot of work that have been there for a long time in support of this. And the other, I guess a couple other points I want to make is we have to make sure we understand and recognize the impact that their work makes, not only for the ag families of the county, but the impact and opportunities they give to our 4-H families, and they're working with Extension and the 4-H program there. But also this resource out on the edge of town here, the fairgrounds, their oversight and management of that property and the facility there is stellar. They have done tremendous work, as they have said, a lot with, or the vast majority of this, with volunteers and people volunteering their time and talents. We have, I will argue, probably the nicest fairgrounds, certainly in this region of the state, but I'll put the Morrison County Fairgrounds up against any of the other counties in the state, certainly in the counties that are our size out there. And I've had the pleasure over the years of being out at the fair and talking with county commissioners from other counties who come and marvel at the quality of facilities that we have there, the grounds, but also the immense participation that takes place out there through the Ag Society, by the public, and certainly the success that we've had with our county fair in a time where many counties struggle to have successful county fairs, and especially since that event that we all want to forget called COVID. So I think there's a lot for us as a board to be excited about with the Ag Society, with their leadership, their foresight, certainly their willingness to look at doing things in new and creative ways to create opportunities for them to, achieve goals that they set out that are aggressive, but are realistic. And I couldn't be more proud of this organization, what they've accomplished, their tenacity, and their commitment, but most importantly, their ability to give of themselves and their time. And Morrison County has a lot to be proud of this organization and this resource out there. So Jeremy, Kennard, ladies, thank you for being here this morning and sharing with us, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Again, myself, I appreciate Commissioner Blaine for representing the county and the county board. He's been doing it now for a few years, so again, we appreciate that. Commissioner Lemire, you had a comment?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Commissioner Zelinski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one comment for the board, and please pass this along to everyone. First of all, the fairgrounds isn't just the fairgrounds anymore. Period. Isn't just the fairgrounds anymore. It's used for all kinds of different things. The economic impact that the fairgrounds brings, and I don't have a number, either do you, that brings
No
to
clue,
Morrison County is fuel stations, motels, grocery stores, restaurants, just to name a few. ways of bringing in economic impact. The general public doesn't generally know what goes on at the county fair, on the county fair grounds. Whether that's because they haven't opened up a newspaper, asked the question, doesn't make any difference. Specifically, what I want to go back onto is 2023, the state emergency communications exercise. For those of you that don't know, and I don't even know that the board knows, this wasn't a Morrison County / Camp Ripley exercise. This was a state of Minnesota communications exercise. I believe it was 3 days.
3 days.
Can't really remember. I was in on this on the pre-side of the whole event. A lot of communications with the state that I had in regards to getting this thing set up, which worked out wonderfully. I was not able to be there for any one of the 3 days, but I have plenty of contacts that praise how this worked. Not only the cooperation between the fairgrounds, but the cooperation of Camp Ripley. And I realize we have Camp Ripley staff with us today, and I appreciate the colonel and his staff being here with us today, and as much as I appreciate you guys being here with us today. But this thing is just not a little teeny tiny piece. It's a big piece to Morrison County. A lot of stuff that people just don't know, for whatever reason, doesn't make any difference. But once again, it's not just the fairgrounds anymore. And it, to me, is kind of the best kept secret in Morrison County. And it's not a secret. Anyway, Mr. Chair, that's all I've got.
And again, you mentioned it's been 30 years since we've been out there?
We celebrated our 30th year last year, yep.
Okay, again, and I just want to make a comment. I'm from, well, most of us here are from the old county fairgrounds. And as kids and youth and growing up, that was an amazing county fair. When they moved out there, it was a battle. There's no question about that. You guys are having you're going against the wind, you know, I mean, prior board members and current ones. And it was a tough haul, you know, just to get everything, because people were so against moving it out there. And plus, it's such a large area, where here in the city of Little Falls, it was more smaller, so it looked like there was more people there. But here's the thing is, what I'm looking at now, I think you got the wind to your back now, because it's all the improvements, everybody's starting to know what's going out there, so, and, in my opinion, I see nothing but success in the past few years and moving forward, so again, we appreciate what you do, so. I don't know if you have anything else you wanna comment on?
I just want to try to touch a little bit too on, you know, we're trying to come up with some strategic planning out there for, you know, future development, making it, you know, this is one of Kennard's big, you know, dreams, hopes is to get that to be a big multi-use facility out there, you know, not just for the fairs to, you know, can it be a year-round place for us to use? Is it, you know, possible to do bigger conventions, bigger, you know, different stuff out there? So that's, after the fair, we slow down, get a few month break there. That's gonna be our big objective, is to hit that and try to put some strategic planning and do some, you know, development and research on, you know, what the community really needs, what we could use it for, the land that we have out there. There's land that adjoins that belongs to the school district, you know, so is there a partnership between, you know, some of that, that's the city, we got other businesses and stuff out there in that industrial park, you know, we currently have well, and we don't have septic out there, we have holding tanks, so they get pumped, you know, 2-3 times during the fair, so is it, you know, eventual possibility to get hooked up to city services, but as you guys know, infrastructure costs an arm and a leg, and to get that put in out there, you know, what's the assessment's gonna be, you know, when we run on a nonprofit organization, we try to generate our revenue, it's, you know, where do we come up with these big funds? And, you know, with us being in agriculture, we don't get all the, you know, we ain't eligible for all the grants and stuff like a lot of the C3s are, because we are a C5 agriculture nonprofit instead of a C3, so that's another thing, you know, we've been told, well, you know, try to get maybe a Friends of the Fair so they can raise nonprofit funds and we can get, you know, reach into other outlets for resources. So that's another thing we have to, you know, investigate into and do. So I don't know if anybody else from the board has anything to add, thoughts?
Just one that, so when we did announce that we were gonna have a fair in June, there was a lot of worry, I guess, would probably be the better, word to use. But we let our 4-H families know that as soon as we had confirmed that date, that's when the fair was, so that they were prepared, because that makes a lot for families of, animals that they pick and choose, and all of their planning then gets bumped up, 2 months, and so that's huge. But overall, it was well-received, that to have the early fair, and I'm a huge advocate for an early fair because we are one of the first ones in the state there's only like 3 other fairs that are in June. And so it gets us ahead of 2 of all the other things that happen in Morrison County that happens in July and August. And I'm a huge advocate for it because being a volunteer in the fairgrounds, that I get my summer back. So because it doesn't matter when it is, you're never ready. And so, but it was well received. And so I know right away when it's like you have a June fair, it's like, oh my gosh, that's early. But no, it was definitely, we had lots of animals, and we're, again, looking at how to readjust pens and stuff like that because and it's a good problem to have. It's a very good problem to have too many animals.
Well, last year we did add on, even to the small animal barn, with 17 more pens, and we were full, and they were worried about losing exhibitors from previous year being early, and we filled another 17 pens and could have used a few more that we wouldn't have had to.
I think it's very important that you get the dates out there for people to know what it is. Again, the challenge I always, and I know a few of them with the flowers, so.
Yes.
But now that's about the only one I think, but now they know when it is, and again, last year was an experiment, however you look at it. This year, now I think those flowers, they were gonna start them earlier, start them inside,
Yep.
so
Yep.
you know how that goes too, so.
Right.
Again, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
So anything else, gentlemen? If not, thank you very much. We appreciate the information, and we look forward to the county fair this year in Morrison.
Jeremy,
Perfect. Thank you.
need the $20?
If you guys want to be in our ad, we're printing next week.
Oh, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
Well, it's our duty.
Tell you what, let's take 5, and then we'll get the 20.
It's fine.
Mike's gonna cover you, Randy.
I'm in.
Look at the Maz.
It's a good thing that you stopped in here today, because otherwise we wouldn't have done this. That would have been bad.
There you
Thank you for what you do out there,
Yeah,
Chairman.
thank you guys.
Here you go, Jeremy.
Welcome, thank you.
I think I got cash for you.
I'll have to get, unless you can
And-
spot me.
Kenneth?
Kennard Feldbaum.
Kenneth. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Michael Mayer, thank you.
I can cover Greg.
See?
Thanks for coming in, appreciate it.
Great job.
It's nice that you're on that board, Greg. It's like you hear the heartbeat.
It's fun. Thanks, Bobby, for covering me.
Bobby Casper.
Okay.
Diane, thank you.
morning.
You guys keep up the good work. I'm glad you've got room out there. so
Well, we got
straight
you
in.
Yeah, I just try to keep moving and expanding and.
Yeah,
I forgot to say that, like when other vendors come to our fair, they
Yeah.
always say how nice our fairgrounds is compared to a lot of the other ones.
it's just gotten better and better through the years.
Yeah, and you know Kate Siegel at all? So, yeah.
I think you should get Willie Nelson out there maybe this fall.
Yeah, right?
What does Jeremy say about that? Jeremy, you gonna get Willie Nelson out there for the county fair?
We can try, yeah.
Yeah, get him out there. He's only 90 years old, but he still stirs it up.
You can contact me.
Thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, you got my email, you've been emailing me, so there's my card. So, yeah, we do, they actually have a garden, actually we're looking for Girl Scout troops to do a potato picking contest in one building to match that. The 3 troops over there, 1 each day, so. Keep good, yeah, we do, stuff like that, we could.
Be good.
Okay, so, yeah, we do all different kinds of stuff, Boy Scouts, like we.
Bobby Casper,
Hi, Ryan Hofstad.
nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
Thank you very much. Troy Fink.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are heroes.
Yep, because,
Well, you give us comfort.
Just doing our jobs, right?
Yeah, we appreciate it. You got a job to do and it's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Greatly appreciate
there's
it.
all kinds of stuff we can
You won't, hey,
Yeah, thank
you guys are never gonna get spit upon from this bunch. You'll get high praise. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Are you the scroller? No, I'm not. Oh.
Snacky snack. That took me half through the meeting just to get up and running. But I got her.
Would you reboot?
Oh, I had to. It asked for a new password. We got her. We got it. Amy's changed a little bit out there. Kinda looks like Sharon. Never recognized her. Hurry and wait, huh, gentlemen?
I don't think it ever changes, right?
Well, we did that because we just wanted you to see what's going on here. Because otherwise, as soon as you guys leave, everybody else is gonna leave.
All good.
We'll get you going soon as we get a couple of them. They're kind of having a chat out there. They might have to-
Listening.
Want me to grab 'em?
I don't know.
Yeah, grab 'em. Here they are. All right. Gentlemen, looks like we have Camp Ripley here. Please state your names.
I am Troy Fink. I am the garrison commander of Camp Tripoli, and I am accompanied by.
Command Sergeant Major Ryan Hofstad from Royalton here.
Good morning, gentlemen. Please lead us off.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us here this morning. I did leave off a survey for the team to look at and answer some of those questions. It's really an effort for us to be able to improve our product, improve what we brief you annually, so that if there's really anything that the commissioners want to know, please let us know what that is and we can bring that forward. So going through just a quick update, most of you have seen these slides before, but our Camp Ripley mission is pretty straightforward. We focus really on that bottom line, the positive community relations. We try to be as public facing as possible. Obviously, there are some certain things that we do in the nature of our business that preclude some of that public facing, but for the most part, our doors are always open at Camp Ripley for our community. Moving on to some of the leadership, obviously, most of you know Major General Sean Menke. He's the Adjutant General for the state of Minnesota, the senior uniformed officer for the state of Minnesota next to the governor. And then his CSEL, which is the Command Senior Enlisted Leader for the state of Minnesota. Moving on to our 34th Infantry Division leadership, Major General Charles Kemper and his Command Sergeant Major Matthew Erickson. These two gentlemen currently are deployed and mobilized forward, doing operations with the 34th Infantry Division headquarters. And then the leadership, obviously, at Camp Ripley, myself and Command Sergeant Major Hofstad here today. Moving on, so Camp Ripley's economic impact in 2023 was right around just a little over $72 million. It's kind of broken out there in terms of categories, you know, in terms of payroll being probably our biggest piece of that. And then you can see kind of the rest of the breakdown in terms of what Camp Ripley does on a regular basis. We'll tie in a little bit of the construction update a little bit here in the next couple slides. Obviously, everybody knows where Camp Ripley is located, right down the center of the state of Minnesota, bordered by the three counties, Morrison County, Cass County, and Crow Wing. I think you've all seen this before, but Level 2 Training Center, we're pretty much capable of doing just about anything on the heavy maneuver, aviation, different aspects as it relates to military operations. Moving on to just some of our accomplishments and the events. In 2023, we brought through just a little over 400,000 service members, whether they be active duty, National Guard, reserves, or other compos, whether it be the Navy, Marine Corps, et cetera. And then about 78,000 civilians through the gates of Camp Ripley in 2023. We did host our Camp Ripley open house. We will have that again in 2025. And then obviously I mentioned some of the other compos, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, et cetera. Those over the last, I would say, 3 years have really started to pick up for us in terms of some of their training requirements. Camp Ripley seems to be able to fulfill most of their needs in terms of training. Obviously, we host the DNR and the State Patrol Academies on Camp Ripley as well, so we're pretty proud of that fact, helping enable the new recruits coming through in terms of those two state agencies. And then we just got done hosting the 51st Norwegian Exchange with about 106 Norwegians back in February. Support to civil authorities. I'm pretty sure all of you gentlemen are fairly aware of the process here, but it's really kind of, in some counties across the state aren't fully understood on how does the National Guard deploy inside of the state of Minnesota under the order of the governor. And it does take specifically the order of the governor to activate us on state active duty to perform missions for the state. Typical missions, obviously winter storm, flood, wildfire, civil disturbance. I've obviously had plenty of experience with the recent civil disturbance down in Minneapolis and how that all unfolded. But we seem to make sure that the safety infrastructure of Minneapolis residents was protected for the most part. Moving on to the construction update. So Camp Ripley, we're breaking ground right now on 4 additional rail spurs coming onto the base on our east gate right over the 115 bridge, Minnesota 115 bridge. And that will equate to about additional 2 miles more on the base for rail operations. What this really does is advances our capabilities to getting units, i.e. such as our largest unit, the 1st Brigade Combat Team, out the door and to the port much quicker than we have in the past. And as things develop in our current environment, we see probably more deployments coming our way. Access control point, we are looking at redoing the entrance onto the base. The main gate where it is currently will be positioned west of the current main gate location, coming onto the base. So that is underway and moving forward, for us. Obviously, a lot of coordination with Minnesota DOT, and the state as it relates to that. The tactical airstrip upgrade is underway. That is basically our dirt assault strip, which allows our Air Force brethren to really be able to get after some of the austere landing opportunities that they will need to perform. Our fiber loop is another really big add. So we're creating a fiber loop throughout the whole perimeter of the downrange training areas, which really allows our tactical units to tie into their tactical systems and communicate effectively. Our Area 5 Battalion Headquarters development there, we've taken down a number of tin huts and replaced them with more modern sleeping arrangements, operational facilities for the units to operate out of there. We are conducting some upgrades to our pistol range. There has been some small adjustments to the Department of the Army's qualification requirements. So we're getting after those upgrades as well. And then just a number of different buildings that we want to improve on the base for long term. Moving on to the museum update. This is a big one for Camp Ripley and the community, I feel. Moving it off of Camp Ripley proper and moving it closer to Highway 371, right between 371 and the State Museum, or the State Cemetery there. So this is gonna be underway this summer. It is under contract currently. We expect a lot of dirt movement, probably early July timeframe for that. And it is scheduled to be about 18 to 20 months for construction time. The meat and the potatoes of the summer for Camp Ripley, June is gonna be probably our noisiest month, with a lot of artillery units coming through. So we expect the normal vacationers that come through in the summertime to be complaining about the noise. And we're prepared to handle all of those things. The month of July is probably gonna be our busiest time in the summer, where we're bringing in the exportable combat team to train up 2nd Brigade, which is stationed out of Iowa. And this will bring just about every single unit within the brigade through Camp Ripley at some point in the month of July and a little bit into August. And that is gonna bring additional economic impact to the area as well in terms of hotels, gas stations, et cetera. So looking forward to that really busy time for us. And then August, September, October is really just our normal flow of units through Camp Ripley, doing their individual MTO tasks to be ready when the nation needs them. And then we will host again the Minnesota DOT performing their snowplow training in the months of September and October. Obviously, Camp Ripley state partnerships, as you know, the Minnesota DNR, State Patrol, and Homeland Security Emergency Management is housed, or a portion of them is housed on Camp Ripley permanently. So they have offices there at the Homeland Security Emergency Management Facility that's on base. And then obviously I mentioned the Minnesota DOT snowplower training. Soldier and family programs, obviously this just lists a few, but really are some of our big hitters when it comes to support to our families and our communities across the board. When it comes to large-scale mobilizations, these folks are heavily leveraged to support everyone back home. Community outreach, there's a laundry list here. I will just, what's not on the slide is some of the things that my command sergeant major has been diligently working and pushing, is really trying to get more visibility of our youth and doing some job shadowing on Camp Ripley with school districts across the board. So kudos to him, and hopefully that pays dividends in the long run. Environmental program, obviously we have an award-winning team on base when it comes to the environment. There is a significant challenge for us to balance the environment with what we do in terms of military training across the board. So we lean on this team heavily, but year over year, they continue to win awards at the national level for what they do in balancing the environment and military training. The next slide is really just kind of their partnerships that they engage with on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, in terms of executing their mission set for us. Moving into prescribed burns, which this team is also a part of, the environmental team is. But this is kind of a necessary evil for us to be able to get after with the number of units and different types of training that occurs on Camp Ripley. This really precludes unplanned fire from occurring on camp. We do obviously try to communicate when we're doing these things to the public so everybody can see, you know, the big plumes of smoke up in the sky, and no, Camp Ripley is not on fire, but it is on fire. So the Army Compatible Use Buffer Program, you can see all the highlighted green areas. These are our acres that are already currently enrolled in the Army Compatible Use Buffer. And really, this is just an effort to keep the encroachment off of the borders of Camp Ripley, so nobody's building a new house or a new cabin or anything like that in terms of the encroachment. Moving forward, there's plans that the Army Compatible Use Buffer Program is going to kind of be rolled up into what is called the Army REPI program, which is going to be overall looking at ACUB, looking at Sentinel Landscape, and all of those different facets of the Army's program. And then just my safety brief for everyone in the room, unexploded ordnance, right? I encourage, if anyone comes across anything like this, to give us a call. We've got a team prepared to handle these sorts of things. Primarily, this is mostly found on Camp Ripley typically, but occasionally there are occasions where it can be found elsewhere. So that is my safety brief, and I will open it up to the commissioners for questions or dialogue.
Gentlemen, anything for the, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please,
Okay.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colonel, I just have to ask, how long have you been here, first of all? at
How
camp?
long have I been in my position?
Yep, at
Since
camp.
June of 2023.
Got to tell you, you're briefed. I very much appreciate it. And although these slides are kind of the same, they're new slides. Thank you for that. And thank you for the experience that you're bringing to this thing. It sounds like you've been doing this forever. And I mean that. Very good. I just have one quick question, and I missed it. I'm sorry about that. The rail. The rail's not going to change, or it is going to change? I missed, I'm sorry.
On base, it will change.
On
So
base
we'll have
only.
additional 2 miles of rail
Okay.
to
On
load
base.
out, on base.
That's very
Yep.
good. Understood. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, anything else?
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Lane, yep.
Colonel Fink, Sergeant Major Hofstad, thank you for being here and sharing with us, and give us an update on what's happening at camp. You know, the fiscal numbers, the economic impact numbers, and I remember back about 22 years ago, 23 years ago, I believe at that time, the estimated economic impact to Morrison County and the area was about $30 million. We're at 70, almost 73 million now in about 23 years' time. Highly appreciated and certainly not underestimated the impact that Camp Ripley's presence has here in our area. And I kind of, you know, I have to say, we have friends in the Brainerd Lakes area and the Alexandria Lakes area, Detroit Lakes area, and we have leaders up there who are competing and trying to draw crowds to come into the summer in the efforts of tourism to bring economic impact to their, you know, to their area. We have $73 million economic impact by people coming here to come to work during the summer. We don't take that lightly. We want to make sure that this county board and the county does everything that we can to support you guys and your mission in recognition of the impact that you have. And we know there are challenges out there, especially during, as you say, the busy times during June, and at times it makes people uncomfortable, no matter how long they've been here and how long they've experienced that. I appreciate the willingness by leadership, and you are that leadership there, to communicate with the public openly about these are the things that take place, these are the things you may hear, see, feel, and trying to help the public understand and be as comfortable as they can be while still allowing you to complete your mission to properly train and ready the people to give us our peace of mind in a world where this seems to be more and more in need. So I'm extremely grateful for you being here and for what you do. The only question I guess I have to ask now, and I thank Commissioner Jelinski for addressing the rail issue, and you talked to the controlled burns, but I was not aware that the main entrance or the main gate and that entrance to Camp Ripley is going to change then. And that will be, and unless I'm misinterpreting this, that will be, you know, that would be a big change for Camp Ripley, correct?
It will be.
And I'm just, I guess I have to ask the question, was it a safety issue that was that's driving that change of entrance to the base?
It is. It's regulatory in terms of anti-terrorism and force protection measures. Our current gate does not meet, other than the security guard that you meet, any of the requirements. So we worked diligently, obviously, with the national leadership, understanding that Ripley being as large as it is, and the throughput that it has, to meet all of the force protection requirements of the people that work at Camp Ripley and or train on Camp Ripley.
Yeah, so, yeah, thank you for that, and I just, you know, I think there's so many people, not only in our area, but from across the state, across the upper Midwest, that recognize that the main gate at Camp Ripley, that's iconic.
It is.
And I'm hoping that that as we go forward, and I'll look forward to seeing the new entrance to the base in the future here, but hopefully our existing main entrance maybe will stay there and stay intact. Maybe we can just close the gates and chain the gates there, but we can keep that iconic
the
entrance.
intent. Yes.
And I think that's fantastic news. Thank you for your commitment to serving the people of the state and the people of the country. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Gentlemen, anything else? Again, I want to appreciate you coming in. This is always great information for the county and the residents of the county. I say myself, and I'm sure the rest of the board, we appreciate Camp Ripley, what you guys do. You know, there's no question about that. I'm just looking at these impact numbers, the people that are coming into the area. Yeah, that has a financial impact for the county, and it really, truly does make a big difference. It's a question. So when you have your military training in June and July, is that including the big, I don't know, helicopters and the birds flying around or not?
It will.
You know, so again, just me personally, I'm out and I'm a ways away from Camp Ripley, but makes my hair stand up when I hear them coming over. It's like, I'm proud to have you guys here in Camp Ripley, because it's just to hear those big choppers and airplanes coming over, I enjoy it, you know, so it's just something personally I feel. So again, thank you very much. Anything else, gentlemen? Appreciate you coming forward.
Appreciate
and,
you having
You have
us.
a great spring and
You
summer.
bet.
All right,
Thank you.
take care.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir.
Keep up the good work.
Yep, thank you.
We're pleased to have you, Sharon.
Sharon, you don't get to come here very often. I like it.
Something new.
All right, Land Services, please state your name.
Sharon Peterson, Land Services Department. And I have got one item for you guys this morning. It's to consider the interim use permit for Joseph and Ashley McCormick to operate a home extended business, specifically a boutique within a shed. And that's including one condition.
Gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion and a second.
I'd make a motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? I'll have to say, again, it's kind of on the end of the world out there and over of the county, and I'm very well aware of it. They're good people. It's well run, it's open, you know, periodically, so again, I don't believe there's any problems or anything in moving forward with this, and again, just a little bit of information, so. Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sharon, can you remind us, what was the condition on that, please?
Because interim use permits have to have an end date,
That's
that
what it
is,
was.
that
Very
they'll-
good.
When they no longer own the property.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Did I get a motion in a second?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, easy peasy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
Enjoy the day.
Do I get this?
Tony, Public Works.
Thank you, Sharon. Please come again.
I didn't mean
I'll
to
try.
Yeah. Have a great day.
tell everybody who you are, so please state your name for the record.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Tony.
Morning, Tony.
Tony Hennon, Morrison County Public Works Director. I have one item for the board this morning. I'd like to review our 2024 pavement marking project, or our maintenance striping, contract number 2401. So as you're aware, we try to do maintenance striping on a third of the county approximately a year. This is the area we're targeting for 2024. We had a bid letting for this project last Thursday. Project came in underneath our engineer's estimates, so we're really happy to see that. We had one bidder, it was Sir Lines a Lot LLC. We had an engineer's estimate of $234,178.11. They came in 23% underneath at $178,790.78. So we're very happy with that bid, especially with one bidder. So I would like to recommend to the board to authorize to award this contract to Sir Lines a Lot in the sum of $178,790.78.
Gentlemen, this will be a roll call, but I need a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion, I need a second.
Second.
Any more discussion?
I just want to say that we discussed these contracts during our Public Works meeting, that this isn't the first time we've discussed it. We've went over this with Tony about a week ago. I just want people to be aware that this isn't just a contract that the first time we've seen it. We've had discussions on it.
Great point. Thank you for that, Commissioner Lemire. Anything else, gentlemen? If not, I have a motion, a second. This will be a roll call. Commissioner Blaine.
Aye.
Commissioner Jelinski.
Aye.
Commissioner Lemire.
Aye.
Did I already ask?
You waited. No, you waited till to the end.
Commissioner Casper.
Aye.
Myself is aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that's all I have, unless there's any other questions.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tony. Have a great day.
Administrators report.
Morning, Mr. Chair. I don't have anything for the group. If any questions from the board?
Not at this time. I don't think we have anything. So now we're looking at dates for the schedule, the 14th through the 27th of April. You know what, and I'm not for change, so I think we should start with Commissioner Jelinski. What do you guys?
I like it.
All right.
All right. Starting on the 16th, 8:30 in the morning, we've got a planning meeting here in the boardroom. At 6 o'clock that evening, there will be a Board of Adjustments meeting. There will be no PC meeting this week. No PC BOA. There will be BOA, but no PC. 17th, I've got at 5 o'clock, I've got a Hands of Hope virtual meeting. And although I will not be able to make it, at 7 o'clock, there will be the Township Annual Meeting, and that will be here in the boardroom. On the 18th, at 10 o'clock in the morning, I have a Central Minnesota Emergency Services Board Owners and Operators meeting. That's going to be virtual. On the 23rd, at 9 o'clock in the morning, we have a county board meeting right here in the boardroom. On Wednesday, the 24th, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I have a Central Minnesota Emergency Services Board meeting, and that will be at the city of St. Cloud. For those interested, at 4:30 that afternoon, Hands of Hope will be having their Denim Days drawing. That will be, I'm guessing, live on, I really shouldn't say, but I think on Facebook. But at 4:30, they'll have their drawing, their raffle drawing. On the 25th, at 12:30 in the afternoon, I've got a State Emergency Communications Board virtual meeting. At 3 o'clock that afternoon, there is a Public Safety Communications Conference virtual meeting that I will not attend due to a medical appointment that I've got. And Mr. Chair, I believe that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Casper.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Tuesday, the 16th, at 5 o'clock, Great River Regional Library down in St. Cloud. And then Thursday, the 18th, at 12 o'clock, an Airport Commission meeting out at the Little Falls Airport. And then the only other one I have, apart from Jeff, is on Friday, the 26th, at 10 o'clock, Mississippi Headwater Board, Walker.
All right, thank you for that. Commissioner Blaine.
Mr. Chair, on Wednesday, the 17th, I will represent the county board at the Sourcewell Representative Assembly at Madden's. There was a nice flyer in the Morrison County Record recognizing all the students and their picture who will be honored there at that. So if you get a chance, take a look at that. Mr. Chair, on the Thursday, the 18th, the Egg Society will be meeting here at 7 p.m. And the following Thursday, Region 5 board commission meeting will take place at 6 p.m. at the Sourcewell headquarters in Staples. And that is all I have.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Lemire.
On the 17th, Public Health Advisory, 5 o'clock. That's here in the boardroom. 18th, there will be a Veterans Breakfast as part of the Yellow Ribbon Committee at Camp Ripley, 8 o'clock, the hangar. At the 24th, HRA, 9 o'clock, HRA. And that's all I got.
All right, thank you for that, Commissioner Lemire. All right, there will be no TCC for the month of April. And then moving forward on the 25th, or excuse me, the 26th, be soil and water at 8 o'clock. Otherwise, I'm covered there too. Gentlemen, anything else? Tabitha? How about our administrator?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right, it is 10:23, we'll adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Good job, gentlemen.